I don't know what the answer is specifically. I do think there should be something changed. I don't know what it is.
I think they should like add another 150 pounds to the 7 car, and then no.
That's a good question. It's kind of a hit or miss. For us Cobalts, I'd have to say no. For other cars, possibly yes. Hit or miss on that one. Whatever we can do is try and stay more consistent with everybody.
I hope not. Changing rules costs money. Even if you think it's a cheaper part, you still gotta get rid of what you got.
There's some pretty dumb rules, I'm not gonna lie, with dirt car stuff. I think a lot of us would agree that they're running the dirt car classes.
Fuck. Anything that can cut costs, maybe a little bit, cut labor.
I think as of right now, like everybody's pretty close. So like the way the rules are, we can go and race anywhere from here to Brockville. So as of right now, I would say no.
I think as a mini stock class, I think it's like they're pretty basic, you know, so I think that's kind of good. I think we need to kind of maybe make it more accessible for other people, you know. It's tough, like it's expensive. I've always thought about maybe trying to get a car so that we could maybe rent it. Last year I kind of had an idea with this second car. If you got to kind of know somebody enough where they wanted to be into racing and they wanted to kind of know the cost, that we could maybe get them to rent a car. There's quite a bit of insurance things to deal with that.
Our biggest rule is like the open engines are at a disadvantage. They need to allow us to have better camshaft rule, and then they're contemplating a tire rule for us, a single tire company. So right now we can run 2 different tires. With the shortage, it's going to be pretty tight because they're already talking about a shortage this year for tires.
I think rule changes for our class, I think it's quite good. You know, I think they do a really, really good job. Just with like everybody's very, very close. The class is super, super tight. I think that's why, you know, you do have the personalities flare up because you're running so tight every week. And especially at Merrittville. Like as I found running the Sportsman elsewhere, the category or let's say the field wasn't as competitive. So it opened up quite a bit more. But at Merrittville, man, like when everybody's within 0.2 of a second, you have 25 guys in the field, it's a bull ring. So I think they're doing a really, really good job on the rules. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the Hoosier tires this year as the tires open up. Because that was, last year, that was a little bit of a crapshoot. You know, some guys had tires, some guys didn't.
I get why they're doing certain things to try and make it more fair. Honestly, I'm not a whole fan of dirt verified, getting extra tags on your crate motor thing. That's just a, you know, another $1,000 out of your pocket. If you buy it from GM new and it has tags on it, you should be able to run it.
Yeah, I do believe there should be some rule changes. The fact that like we as Mustangs are running, like our cars are just underpowered right from the start. They opened up the cam rule a couple years ago for us, but then they opened up the cam rule for everybody after that, which I don't think they should have done, just to try and keep everything more equal. The front-wheel drive guys, they have way more drive out of the corner than we do, no matter what. If we can figure out some sort of way that, whether it's a weight change or a power change or something to kind of balance out just the drive factor out of the corner, that would help us. Even if we have more power when we have to run the outside versus running down below with everybody. I don't know what the answer is specifically, but I do think there should be something changed. I don't know what it is.
The only rule change I think should actually happen is more of a safety rule. If you watch, anyone watches NASCAR, all these guys are getting concussions nonstop, and there's not a way to prevent that, but there's a way to prevent somebody from getting back in the race car with having a concussion, because you only got one melon, man, and it's pretty fragile. And if you're going out with a damaged brain and you do it again, it's not going to be good. So if I had to make one rule change, it would be something along the safety issues, making it safer and preventable.
For the mini stocks, maybe a little more
the deviation between, let's say, the older cars like Mustang, such to keep pace with higher horsepower cars like, say, Meteor Cobalts that have come in the last few years. They let more newer cars come in with more higher horsepower stock. You know, you take our car, it starts with 88 horsepower, their car starts 150 horsepower. You do things to them, we're still not on the same playing field. Not sure what to say to allow more competition, even running standalone EFI or something like that. The problem is if you have to let us do it, you have to let them do it to be fair. Really hard to come up with a game plan to make things compete at the same level. You have so many different versions of cars.
In the modified class, 100%. There's certain people that I just feel are really screwing it up. Dirt has a good program, the rules are there. All these new engine rules and sail panels and weight breaks for certain people in certain classes. I just don't feel it's fair, and it's kind of a big issue.
But there's a few things little stuff I don't agree with, like a shock rule. You know, like we can get carried away with shocks right now, which, you know, I think we should put off-the-shelf shock. Can't rebuild them. You know, you bust it, you buy new one, put it on. Just little stuff like that. Motor, I don't agree with the motor. I mean, the motor when it first came out was affordable. Well, now just to be competitive, it's getting nuts. You know, it costs a fortune to be competitive and with everybody else, right? I mean, just little stuff like that. They could keep it a lot cheaper if they wanted, but they just get carried away. Fuel, I've talked about fuel. I mean, our motors don't need octane, right? Mandola rule, get it running. I mean, it just gets carried away with stuff like that, I think, but my opinion.
Like for me being in a new car, I wasn't allowed to have a new set. I didn't have any other sets. So I found a set that was lying around Taylor's farm, and I ran that for the first 3 races. And like they were used to mark out their dirt bike track. So I was like, what the hell's going on here? But anyway, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do to open up the tires with availability. But other than that, I think they do a phenomenal job with the category.
Yeah, I don't know about, I never really thought about changing rules or anything like that. Haven't been maybe good enough to find out what the good and bad rules are yet, I guess.
You can't say that.